Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in to this week's show. You're in for an action-packed show this week as we're going to be discussing spirit emunations, and I'll delve a little bit deeper into that subject in a moment. Also, in this week's show, we have your weekly channeling, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to communicate their wisdom through, which they change my voice as well as they're doing that as well. Also, we have your weekly energy forecast reading for this week, so hopefully that will help you navigate your way through the course of this week. So whatever it is you're doing this week, I hope you're having a good one. I hope you're checking in with how you feel in yourself, and you're listening to that biofeedback that is always being given to us at any one given moment. Now, this can determine our course of action within our life, and so just be mindful of that. I just thought I would bring that up before we dive deep into today's show. Okay then. So, as I say, we're going to be discussing spirit emunations today. So what am I talking about when I say that? I'm talking about when you go in a building or a location and you are aware of spiritual activity, and you may see a flash of light, or you may be drawn to a certain area within that location. Well, you'll feel the vibrations of spirit. And what spirit do, because they move very quickly from location to location, they can travel through different dimensions as well. In my experience, they leave what I would describe as an energy trail. Now, what I generally do is I don't shy away from that energy trail, and I run over to it and I try and tap into that energy. And so that's what I'm talking about, spirit emunations. So it's about following that line of inquiry, following that energetic trail there as well. And with this as well, what I would recommend before you even engage in doing any of this work is protection, protection, protection. Now, when I'm talking about this, I'm referring to spiritual protection, energetic protection, intentional prayer. So it doesn't matter what faith you are, what your religion is, or anything like that. As long as you set that positive intention that your encounters before you go into any location or property are going to be protected by higher, maybe beings of light. I always call upon Archangel Michael and the Band of Mercy, the angels there as well. And I call upon my guides, obviously, and I ask to be placed in a bubble of protective healing light. Now, that bubble of light can be any color, whatever you're inspired to say at that moment in time, because that will be what is right for you in that scenario. So that's something that I always do before entering any location, before I start any work connecting with energy. So I'd certainly recommend that you do the same. Now, also before entering any property or doing any spirit work, what I would recommend, now I say spirit work because we're all capable of doing this. So I'm not just talking to mediums or sensitives here. We all have these abilities, and it's just the fact that some of us have focused our intention and attention on them, and so we've become more aware of them. Now, when anybody decides to focus their attention on their natural gifts and abilities, then those abilities will be more prominent and they'll start shining, and you'll start picking up things and realizing and having different experiences. But it's all down to personal choice there. So you can't force these things to happen, but you can work with them. You can persevere and trust the energies, and also, like I say, show that attention to them, where previously you wasn't doing. And so you're going to get more interactions with energy and spirit once you start doing that. So where I'm driving with this, I always recommend before doing any spirit work or going in any location, doing what I would call a baseline check. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about how you feel in your own physical body in that moment. So how's your physical body feeling? What emotions are you feeling in your physical body? What thoughts are running through your mind? And, what's your attitude in that now moment when you're doing that baseline check? And the reason why I suggest this is because once you've established that, anything above those feelings or experiences or beneath them won't be your energy. You'll be picking up on energy and potentially a spirit that's wanting to communicate their story through you. So it's important that you do all of these checks and protection before you even engage in any sort of spiritual exploration. So with this being the case, allow, when you connect and feel drawn to certain areas within a location, now just simply relax your breathing, and allow yourself to experience that energy and notice any changes in your physicality. Notice any changes in your temperament, your attitude. Are you feeling sad all of a sudden? Are you feeling excitable? Do you have thoughts passing in your mind? Random thoughts that you wouldn't have given the time of day to previously, to standing in that position in that location. So be aware of all of these things, and rather than ignoring them for fear of worrying about what people will think or say with you expressing what you're experiencing, instead of doing that, I certainly recommend that you just speak and just let it out, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. Let the other people, if you are on a paranormal investigation or something of that nature, let them know what you're experiencing. Bring them into that, and start to unfold this story that you're picking up on energetically from these spirit emanations, and trust what you're getting. Don't be afraid to speak that truth there. Now, the thing with following spirit emanations is you will find it's almost like snail trails sort of thing. If you go out at night time and you see you see these snail trails glistening under the moonlight there, they go in multiple directions where you wouldn't ever imagine a snail to go, would you? And so spirit emanations work in a similar way. So they will take you in various areas of a location where you wouldn't imagine them needing to go. Well, I would certainly recommend following that vibration, that feeling, and you'll recognize that you're on that particular trail connected to that spirit being, because you'll latch on to that frequency and you'll get a feeling with that frequency. So that feeling might be of excitement, like I've described earlier. So you'll follow that inquiry of excitement, and you'll follow where you're feeling that excitement. If you're not feeling that excitement, obviously that's saying to you, well, it could even be the feeling of anger, upset. It can be any emotion within this spirit emanation. So if you all of a sudden feel as though that you're not following that feeling, then that's an indication that that trail has finished, or you need to connect back on it. So in order to connect back on it, you'll walk about that location to find that feeling of either, joy, happiness, sorrow that you was experiencing in the beginning, that spirit emanation. And when you've latched onto that, then just follow that feeling round, and it will take you in various areas of that location. And it may be leading you to something better, because in my experience, when I've done this, it's taken me to either a vortex or a portal within that location, to which this spirit entity has come into this dimension, and that's the way that they arrived through there. So by following it, you can find their entrance and exit points, and that can unveil all manner of truths when you do that. But also, don't be concerned or worried about that, because it may connect you to where this spirit emanation, if it is a grounded spirit, they may be trapped and they may be pacing up and down a certain room, and you might find yourself doing the same, following their vibration, this energy trail there. So watch out for that, because it will unveil a story about that spirit communicator, that lost soul there that's wanting to express their story to you. So they can really lead to some pots of gold, I would say, by following your intuition, the feelings, and like I say, latching on to that spirit emanation. So when you originally connect to it, are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling depressed? Whatever the emotion is, it is your role as a sensitive to remember that feeling. Okay, because that is going to help you connect on that energetic level with that spirit connected to the emanations, the energy trails that they're leaving around the property. And this will in turn lead to their story being shared with you. So don't be afraid of it, and don't feel embarrassed about sharing what you're picking up, because it is important that if you're out with a team, a paranormal investigation team, that you do share your encounters, as it's going to keep you all on the same page. It's going to help that energy to build up, hopefully, so you get to either see, hear, or capture some evidential information, maybe on video or still footage, or even as an EVP there. So it's all going to add up. So by expressing what you're picking up, I would say, is paramount in this situation. Now, with this as well, obviously, it can take a lot of energy out of you. So when you are encountering spirit emanations, or you're planning on going on a paranormal investigation, or even doing some sort of house cleanse, if that's what you're doing, or you're picking up energy in somebody's property and you're just following it round to try and piece a story together, piece the puzzle together there, then what I'm leading to is what I would recommend. You will find yourself at the end of that experience feeling a little bit drained, lethargic, and I would certainly recommend that you take lots of food with you and drink as well, because this will help to keep your energy levels topped up. And you'll find when you are doing energy work that you will be eating more than what you would normally eat. And again, this is to replenish your energy as well. Now, upon leaving your experience, your encounter there that you're going through, always cleanse your energy, close down. Now, I use that term close down because what I do before working with any spirit or anything like that is, as I've said earlier, I have an intentional prayer. So within that intentional prayer, I'm stating what I would like to encounter, what I'm willing and what I'm not willing to accept within that encounter. So for one, as I said earlier, we're looking for protection, aren't we? We're looking to have that encounter with this energy, but with protected guidance. So we want to factor that into our intentional prayer. And like I say, it doesn't matter what religion you or belief patterns that you have, as long as you put it in a format where you're setting intentions before actually taking part in this procedure, following the spirit emanations there. And also what I do is I open up my chakra system as well. So the wheels of light, the chakra means wheel of light, and we have 7 that predominant ones anyway. There's more than that, but the predominant ones, 7 that we open up before we work with spirit. And I also expand the aura, and then I put that protection on as well with the intentional prayer. Now, all of those things are very important, but you've got to remember when you finish doing this spirit emanation exploration, if you like, that you still need to close down. And sometimes because you get carried away with the experience that you've been encountering, or the audibles or the visuals or the energy trails that you've been following, that vibration leaves you in a euphoric state. You're very impressed by the evidence that you've witnessed. And so with this being the case, your mind is taken elsewhere. Now, why I bring this up is because you need to remember to close down and cleanse your energies before you go back home, or before you go back in your vehicle to go back home, because you have the potential of whatever spirit emanation, whatever energy you've been working with or tapping into, has that potential of latching on to you and taking a ride home with you, and then being in your home and you having that constant energy around you. So it is very important as well in order to do this work. So again, you would close down the chakras. So you would do it in reverse order. You would bring your aura in, you'd bring your energy in, and then you'd close down your chakras in a reverse sequence there. And also, I would recommend you grounding your energies. I use the technique of imagining tree roots growing out of the soles of my feet, going deep within Mother Earth. That will ground your energy and make you feel more solid in your physical body. Because when you work with energy, you'll find that you'll feel a little bit dreamy, you'll feel a little bit lightheaded, a little bit floaty there. And by grounding your energy on the way back, closing down will actually make you feel more solid, more present, more aware of what's happening in the here and now. Okay, so that is important part of the procedure. And then to round it off there, you're wanting to call upon, I would recommend certainly Archangel Michael and the Band of Mercy to remove any negative cords or negative cords of attachment or negative debris from in and around you in all directions of time, and ask for this energy to be removed and taken up and clean, cleansed and healed in order for this energy to be removed from you. Then I would recommend you doing a closing prayer or closing intention. So your intention could be that you're very grateful for the experience, the encounters that you've gone through following these spirit emanations. However, you would like to be clean, clear, cleansed and healed with positive love vibrations. You're wanting to be high vibrational, and you're wanting to be grounded, and you're also wanting to return home safely, fully protected, fully guided as well. So words, I'm just throwing some suggestions to you. You don't have to follow that to the letter, but ideally, if you could factor in elements of those that I've been describing to you, that will certainly help you all out when you've gone through some of these encounters, and it will leave you feeling fresh as a daisy as well afterwards. And it will allow you to go on more encounters if you continue to follow this sort of technique that I'm sharing with you there. Now, always respect the energy that you're tapping into. So, I mean, we've all witnessed these things on TV, haven't we? Where there's people there, they're shouting, they're yelling, they're swearing at spirit, they're swearing at the energy that's there in the room. And of course, that's going to antagonize that energy. It's going to pull that frequency down to a lower vibration. And imagine if you was a spirit and somebody was swearing at you. What would be the first thing that you would do? I know what I would do. I would completely walk in the opposite direction. I wouldn't waste my energy on trying to move something for these people if they weren't showing me that level of respect there. So again, showing that level of respect for spirit will actually bring forward a lot more evidence. You get more captures as well. And always, when you do get a capture or you do witness something in that environment, always say thank you afterwards. And that will keep that vibration high, keep that vibration positive, and always offer, if you can help that individual in spirit? Do they need help? Would you like help? Sometimes, in my experience, it's been a case of allowing that that spirit to have the communication, to have their say, to tell their story. As I was saying earlier, their story could literally be told through you, through your emotions. So, watch out for them. So if you're feeling angry in your mind there, well, why am I feeling angry all of a sudden? Keep questioning it. And when you're questioning it, you'll get another feeling, which potentially could be a communication, an answer from this spirit being, again, that's wanting to relay their story in the easiest route that they can with your capabilities. So watch out for them. And also, this is why I'm telling you all to verbalize your experience. Don't be shy about opening up and telling others about it, because in many respects, you're actually allowing that spirit to communicate through you, and also giving them that opportunity to share their story and heal their hurts, and maybe release their attachment to that property, that location, just by you expressing that communication there. So that is part of the journey, in my experience, on going on these investigations. But what I'd like to do is just to share, excuse me, a few encounters with you that I've had using this technique that I'm describing to you. So following spirit emunations. I did many years ago. I went to a place called Annesley Hall when it was available, and to look round and go on an investigation there. And that is in Nottinghamshire. And I was aware of a young lady. I got the feminine sense of a feminine energy. Felt quite young, quite youthful, but downtrodden as well. And obviously, with being a medium, I got the direct link there as well from my guide, and they fleshed out this communication that I was having. It was a servant girl that I was picking up on. But to begin with, before I got that communication, I followed the energy trail that I was feeling. And I just followed that feeling of depression, that feeling of sorrow that she was carrying, feeling of regret as well, and being downtrodden. And this energy trail, this spirit emanation, was taking me various places around this building, going up the stairs, down the stairs, in this room, and then in the cellar. And then I felt some really untoward experiences. I felt like a lot had happened to this poor, unfortunate individual female there, which I won't share on here. But the reason I bring it up is because if I hadn't have followed and trusted that original feeling that I was picking up on, I wouldn't have got that information. And she was telling her story. In turn, I was sharing that with the party and with the people that were there. And this was fleshing out her experience into this dimension, almost bringing her experience into light. And also, in doing so, there would have been an element of healing that would be occurring to her by doing that, by sharing that through into this dimension, maybe releasing her shackles to that location in doing so as well. So that was one of them. Another one was when I was doing a private house investigation and house cleanse there. And I was aware of a spirit gentleman in that building. I just got the feeling of masculine energy. And I established a link with this masculine energy, an audible link, should I say, clear audience. I call it audible, but I'm hearing it in my spiritual ears, in my mind there. But I established a link with this gentleman. And anyway, he was sharing elements of why he was there and some of his story. And he was a little bit intimidated and frightened of the vibration of the healing that was there available for him at that moment in time. Wasn't understanding what was happening with me being there. So I had to calm him down and tell him what was going off. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because he moved from one location and he kept moving around because, again, he was expressing this level of fear and concern about my presence being there. So I just followed where I felt that connection. Remember me saying earlier about watch your emotions, watch your baseline, and then anything other than that, higher or lower than that will be spirit communication that you're latching into, or spirit emunation. So I was literally following where that feeling was taking me in that property. And this poor gentleman, bless him in spirit, he was moving up and down stairs. So it was a bit like a Benny Hill sketch. I was running up and down the stairs, running around the house very quickly in order to establish this strong link that I had with this gentleman, because I just felt that there was unfinished business and he needed help. And so anyway, he led me into the bathroom. I followed him there, and I knew he was in the bathroom, and it was comical, in fact, because his energy was actually hiding behind a shower curtain, thinking that, like we would do in the physical dimension, thinking that behind a curtain you wouldn't see them. But obviously we're working with energy here. So I felt his emanation was there. And I, again, carried on establishing that link with him, which in turn built up his confidence with me. It settled him, and we were able to listen to his story, which in effect allowed him to raise his consciousness and awareness, and then he was able to see his family and friends in the world of spirit, which in turn led him to go back home and to release his vibrations from that property. So it was a beautiful case, and the reason why I bring it up is if I hadn't have followed that spirit emanation, the vibration that he was leaving around that property, then I wouldn't have been able to establish that strong link and to locate where he was and to continue to build that trust bond and relationship up with his spirit communicator, to hear his story, which in turn led to his own healing. He did the work. I was just being that listening post for his story and building that bridge, that connection there between his realm and this realm, so that he could do that and release his own energy. So again, it's a very important role, I would say, following spirit emanation, should I say, because who knows where it will lead. On that case, it led to this spirit gentleman cleansing, healing his vibration, and cutting his energy attachments to that location, that private property there. So it's a beautiful gift to use when you show it the respect that it deserves. Like I was saying, you've got to open up, you've got to have an intentional prayer, and then at the end there, before the end, you've got to keep your energies up by keeping your vibes high. You've got to keep eating and drinking whilst you're on an investigation, again, to help you work with that energy, because you will feel drained if you don't do that. And then at the end there, closing down, cleansing your energy, having that intentional prayer will get you ready and to go home, basically, all clean, cleansed and healed. So you're not taking any unwanted energy back home with you. There's many other stories that I could share with you on this topic, but I hope what you've listened to within this piece has certainly given you something to think about, and recognize that you don't have to be a spiritual medium. You don't have to be a sensitive. We all have these gifts within us to work with, and it's only upon us giving our attention to them, giving our focus to this sensitive side of us, that we can then unpack them and work with them. So if that is something that you're wanting to do, where you've ignored this side of you because of maybe what society says, thinks, does, then maybe give it a chance. Just put your attention on your sensitivity, how you're feeling, recognize your baseline check, and notice when you focus on that, anything other than your baseline check won't be your vibration, won't be your energy. And it's upon going down that line of inquiry that you can get more information from it, and you can understand spiritual energy. So don't be intimidated, don't be afraid of it. Always put your protection up and trust what you're getting, and share it with like-minded individuals, and you'll be surprised at what you pick up. Well, now we're moving into the next segment of the show, which is your channeling, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. You will notice that my voice does change as they blend their energies with me in order to allow this to occur. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's channeling from spirit.
Hello. Hope you don't mind me coming through and having a few words with you all regarding the ascension and regarding your journey on your life path. Also, we've got lots to talk about, so I'm not going to waffle on. I'm just going to go straight in with it. Okay, well, we want to talk about your soul, and when it's time for your soul to make its sacred transition and go into other realities. Some would perceive that as heaven. Others would perceive that as maybe a lesser vibration, which we won't go into. But we want to talk about that transition nevertheless. So when it is time for your soul to make its transition, it gives you warnings. It gives you inclinations that this is about to occur. You'll start to reminisce quite rapidly, and you'll go through all of your life in your mind, in your physical mind, and you'll find this most pleasing. And in many respects, you'll be more at peace with who you are and what you have done within your physical life. And therefore, it will make that transition a lot more easier when you are at peace within your physical mind. So what occurs then is you simply close your eyes in your physical dimension and you open them in a new dimension. Now this new dimension, there are no boundaries, there are no fixed walls, there are certain rules and regulations, but it is down to you and what you decide. Your soul decides is the best evolution for you at the time. But what you will do is you will be ushered over into this new dimension, and you'll be greeted usually by a spirit guide or a family member to help ease that burden, ease that fear of the transition that you're making. And so when you do come over, you go into the great halls of learning and you go and do what we would describe as a life review. So you will see everything that occurred within your physical life. You will see, feel, sense it from all perceptions, including perceptions of other people that were there around you when you were doing what you were doing. And so you get to experience what they felt in your presence, as well as your own. So it can be quite overwhelming. So depending upon how open you are as a spiritual soul, will determine how long it will take, this process. Of course, you realise there's no such thing as time. There's only now. So that won't matter too much to you anyway. But you'll go through this review and you make some decisions, what you've learned from situations and how you can grow and expand. And is there a way of... if there's unfinished business, there's a way of maybe finishing that business. That could come back in the form of reincarnation, as you've probably heard all about before, where you get to continue those lessons that were left unfinished. But we want to add another scenario to the mix. And what we're talking about here is we're talking about soul group walk-ins. Now, when we're talking about that, we're referring to, rather than going back to the very start and reincarnating and starting out from a young birth baby, you may have already made an executive decision with another soul who's going along a timeline that contains similar lessons to what you started and didn't finish. Now you go on this period where you agree with this soul if you could walk in and experience that they're going through, so that you can tie up any loose ends within your soul path, if you see what I'm saying. And so it enables you to learn that lesson without fully embracing all of that life, all of that soul. Now there's many people on your physical earth that will have gone through this. And there'll be many people that will have witnessed their family members, friends, loved ones, whatever, go through this process, but not realise that that's what's actually occurring. You'll notice a shift in your persona, your personality, even though it's your voice, even though it's your physical body. There's something quite a little bit different about it, and they will pick up on that. And so this is what we would describe as a walking. So you may have a period in your physical life where you're changing. You're changing, and you're behaving slightly different, and then you go back to the old ways after a period of time. Well, we want to put this concept to you, that this is possibly what is occurring, what you're witnessing. Called a soul walking, and it's when, like we say, spirit souls, mainly souls obviously, have made that executive decision with the soul of the body in which you're walking in, have agreed, so that you can continue to finish that lesson and move on in your soul journey. Now this soul could be in your soul group. It could be connected to you in some way, shape or form on the other side, as we are all connected, as you very well know. But it's all down to the agreements that we have made. Now, we understand that we have to talk about time in linear fashion, this and then it goes to that, and then it goes to this, then it goes to that. But actually, as we've always said on here, that there's no such thing as time, only in your dimension. In fact, everything is happening in the now moment, now. It's all happening now. Your past, your present, your future, as you perceive it, it's all now. And it's all based upon decisions, choices that you make now. So we can go on forevermore talking about this, but what we wanted to do is just to tell you a little bit, not everything, because everybody's experience is going to slightly be different depending upon their belief systems, what they're willing, what they're not willing to let go of in terms of their lifestyle, in terms of energy cords of attachment that you've built up over a period of time in your earthbound carnation. So, once you've done that, once you've decided to do that, the soul progresses and grows. It continually wants to learn and expand. So it goes throughout its journey picking up new levels of information. So once you've tackled this dimension, the physical dimension, you move up into another dimension where you don't have the restraints of that physical dimension, yet you do have the capability to be here, there and everywhere simultaneously, again experiencing all of your emotions, all of your belief systems, and learning, or shall we say unlearning, the things that you learned on the earth plane. It seems a little bit unusual to be doing that, doesn't it? But in fact, you'll connect back to the truth and the true essence of who you are when you make your transition into with your soul body, if you know what I'm saying. So you get to, it can be quite a rude awakening for people that have cemented their belief systems in this physical dimension. And so you'll go through a period of time of adjustment. Obviously, it's down to you, but you will reconvene with your loved ones, with your friends and associates that have made their transition on the other side. But bear in mind that they too are going through a period of learning. So you will agree to reconnect, and it's hard for your human mind to comprehend, even just saying this, because you can be everywhere at the same time, because you are what we would call fractals. So you can break up in multiple millions of pieces, pretty much like your cells in your physical body. There's billions, trillions of them, all doing their specific job within your physical body, but all serving the greater good. And that greater good is for you, your soul, to have that experience within that vehicle, your body, in that period in which you decided to have that experience. So when we talk about fractals, your soul can split many, many times. So in many respects, you can be here, there and everywhere on multiple dimensions, having multiple experiences, all in your now moments. The now, all happening simultaneously in the now moments, yet all feeding back, all having separate experiences, yet all feeding back to the source for the greater collective, like your soul, like your cells in your physical body do, in order for your soul to have the experience in this dimension. They're all feeding back to the mainframe system within your body, so everything functions correctly, and all the emotions, all the experiences are then absorbed and used properly in conjunction with the soul. So we want to leave this discussion here because we're going a little bit deep, and like we say, everybody's experience is completely unique and different, but there are similarities in the procedures that we have described. But it does go in many different directions, many twists and turns from there. You can go into the halls of learning and learn about other people's lives, which is very fascinating. When we say other people's lives, we're talking about other people's incarnations or in the physical realm. So you can experience how it felt to be whatever, whoever, whenever. If that is what your soul is needing to progress and grow, you can experience that, you see. But, it's not generally, shall we say, allowed for playful curiosity, because that could have various connotations attached to it. So it's always for the greater good and for the expansion of creation, why that is allowed. You're allowed to do that. Okay, so we hope that gives you some indication that there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to fear. It's merely a changing in frequency, a changing in form. Like we say, when you close your eyes in your physical dimension, you open them in a new one, and all your belief systems will have to be addressed, because you will find out the truth of who you are and everything and reality around you, and it won't be, we assure you. And this goes to everybody, whether you're non-spiritual, non-religious, religious, spiritual, whatever your traits or belief systems are, you will be absolutely, your mind will be blown, basically, because everything you've been taught, yes, there's fragments of truth within it, but what you will encounter is far beyond your physical brain can comprehend. You won't think it's possible to experience the things that you experience when you are a spirit, when you are a soul. So it's going to be an interesting journey for you all, and you're all going to make it at some point when you've decided to do that. And okay, again, You made that decision when you made your soul agreements. Okay, so don't worry. All's going to be good for you all. Don't panic. So I'd like to pass you over quickly to another communicator. They have a little bit of information for you, but thank you for listening. And we hope you found this ramblings of an old man quite insightful, quite helpful, and he's taken that sting out the tail and that fear factor out of you when it comes to making transitions or witnessing transitions of the others. So thank you very much. Leave you lots of love and care and healing and blessings with you all. Bye for now, and we'll see you soon.
That was a bit deep, wasn't it? Yeah, that master's really nice. I like him. He asked if he could come through, and I said, of course, any time you want. So yeah, you know who I am, don't you? Well, the reason why I've come through is just to tell you all that stop worrying. You worry too much. In fact, if you didn't worry, then your life would run really smoothly and everything will fall into place at the right time. And this is in respect to whatever you're placing your worries on. We just want to tell you to not to worry and trust. And when you trust in that invisible force that's working in your favour behind the scenes, everything falls into place, and there'll be synchronicities that you'll say, oh my gosh, wow, that's a coincidence. And what we propose to you today is, no, it's not a coincidence. It's been planned, it's been organised for absolute ages that was going to occur. But because you're aligning on a, shall we say, an energetic scale, it just feels that you go from one thing to another very quickly. And we say to you that this has been organised, and there's always a little segue, a little, shall we say, bridge, energy bridge that helps you to move from one situation into another without any conflict, but with ease and grace. So be patient, everybody. What you need is coming into your existence, into your life, and you'll know it's on its way because you start to feel a little bit excited like a child would, you know. And so, with this being the case, you've got to trust your emotions, follow your heart, and don't overthink things.
Wow, that was a wonderful communication there from Spirit. Very interesting to hear all of those insights about our soul progression and actually the procedure of what occurs when we transition into the world of spirit, into the world of light there. Very fascinating stuff. I really enjoyed the fact that we are fractals and we break up and all of our fragments of our soul go to the greater collective, all having separate experiences all at the same time. Bit of a mind bender that, but I found that incredible to actually hear that. And also at the end there, it was reassuring to hear to stop worrying, because I'm sure we all do it on some level, and just to show that level of trust that the universe has our back. So some wonderful insights there from Spirit today. So next we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is your weekly energy forecast for this week. So sit back, relax, and listen to this week's energy forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 13th of February 2023. Now, those that have seen me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is simply shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out at random and right on cue. One's just done that for us. So this is your card for this week's energy forecast reading. And I'm now going to feel the vibrations of that. First of all, this week is going to be a very interesting one, as I'm being told that you need to leave a space open for opportunities to arrive in your life. Now, what this means is basically in the past, when an opportunity has come up before you, you've either not recognized it as an opportunity, or you've had that element of subconscious fear in your mind that's been holding you back from seizing the day, seizing the moment. This week will see you actually taking that power back of yours and saying yes to life and recognizing these opportunities and moving with that energy that is there presented for you in that moment in time. So look out for these wondrous opportunities coming your way. I do sense that there will be messages toing and froing this week, and as I'm hearing the ping sound that you heard on social media being played to me. So watch out for your phone being more active, or if you are an internet user and you use email, then you're receiving more interaction in that respect as well. But I do feel this energy building. There's some sort of relationship or contact that's going to be building up this week that's leading to a crescendo. So persevere with it, hold that faith, and know that this is for the greater good. Some sort of connection and opportunity there. I'm also feeling that this week will be an interesting one simply because you will have elements of your past coming up to the surface. Now, when I say this, I mean that you'll be experiencing moments in your life that you haven't considered or even thought about for maybe 5 to 10 years. And those visions, that information has been stored in your physical body and is now coming up to the surface. There's a lesson in that you've overlooked. And so when you do see that experience, see what it has to offer. What lesson has it got to offer you? And that should open up the opportunity for you to let that energy go and also embrace that lesson. You'll have some eureka moments as those lessons do align with you. I do sense with you also this week that you will be going through pockets of your week feeling a little bit lethargic, a little bit tired. With this being the case, you need to rest accordingly. So even if this is a little cat nap on the sofa there, whilst you're watching TV with a family, or it could be something as simple as just taking that time out away from the hustle and bustle of life, even if it's 5 minutes, going to the smallest room in the house, obviously the lavatory, and just spending 5 minutes in there just to realign, reconnect, and ground your energies. There's a lot happening energetically this week, so it will benefit you by being more present in that moment there. Also, I'm being told that you need to be a little bit more kinder with your own energy this week. In other words, stop putting yourself down. Stop worrying about what other people are thinking, what they're saying about you, what they're even considering saying about you. Don't even give you, I'll try and get my words out. Don't give that your time and energy this week, as you will only just pull your vibration down, and it will stop you in your tracks from being that beautiful vessel of light that you are. There's some learning also coming in connected with your emotions and the heart chakra this week. So rather than taking things at face value, you need to inspect on a deeper level, on an emotional level, and see if something aligns with you and if it vibrates with you. If it feels good, then obviously follow that line of inquiry. If it feels restrictive, negative, then obviously that's not meant to be pursued any further. So watch out for that. So I'm turning over the card now for this week's energy forecast reading. As you can see at the top there, we've got the angel number of number 9. So I'd like you to research that, please, as it will give you some additional content and information. We have epiphany as well written underneath it as well. Now, to me, the vibration I get with that word, it is simply just feeling in alignment, having some inspiration, some ideas, and also recognizing that they're there for a purpose. They're there for you, and they're there to help you ascend and grow. And also with you growing in that respect, you're going to offer the lesson of growth to other people around you. With your vibration heightening, your mere presence will unfold their vibration. So there'll be a lot of confusion this week in terms of energy, and people will be feeling misalignments. But as long as you're feeling your vibration, and I feel that is the key, because your vibration will help others to naturally come into their alignment if you understand what spirit are saying with this. So underneath this, at the bottom of the card, it reads, joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, answers that come through meditation. Wow, in many respects that goes in alignment with what we've just been talking about there, doesn't it? So basically, there's a lot to look forward to this week. Obviously, the light, our vibration is heightening, and as we say, if we focus upon our growth, this will help others to do the same. And so we're going to be that vessel of light in doing that. So let's take a look into the artwork of the card. We've got this beautiful purple color around the edge of the card. That would represent protection. It would represent also spiritual energies coming in, upliftment, and also showing yourself that level of love and care and respect. As I say those words, I'm feeling emotions coming up to the surface. So with this being the case, I feel as though it's connecting to what we said earlier about you going through having visions of elements of your past coming to the surface, things that you haven't considered for years, and allowing those emotions to be expressed as you're experiencing those moments, if that makes sense, then the healing can occur. So in the artwork of the card, we've got this beautiful masculine energy there, and it's an angelic being. And as you can see, he looks a bit like Gandalf out of Lord of the Rings, a very wise man. With this being the case, it's talking about the masculine energy within you, whether you're male, whether you're female, and listening to that wisdom, that masculine energy that's propelling you forward, pushing you forward, helping you to make life choices. And also, I'm being told for you to seize the day, seize the moment. And so you're going to allow that energy to lead the way with yourself this week as well. With it being an energy of an angel there, it's also saying that it's now time for you to spread your wings and also trust in the unseen world that's going to help you align with your life purpose and your timeline within your life. Don't be afraid to advance with confidence. Some people don't do this for the fear of being judged or ridiculed by others. This week, I'm being told you need to go for it and just follow that truth within your heart there. Also, looking into the artwork, this masculine energy is holding a lantern with a light there. So again, it's saying that you are the light. And when you take your responsibility for your energy, connect with your spiritual growth there, you're going to be the guiding light for others. So don't be surprised if other people start to emulate you, copy you, or even paraphrase you in words that you use. You're simply, without realizing it, you're helping so many people come to terms with these energetic shifts. So take it as, when you do see that happening in your life, as a compliment, but also take it that you're on the right path and you're helping as many people as possible by trusting that divine masculine angelic energy that's coming through you. Now, there's a lot of darkness in this card, as you can see. So it's saying, rather than looking elsewhere for opportunities, for help, guidance, inspiration, you are that inspiration. You are that light. And when you come to terms with that, then you will start to transmute anything that doesn't vibrate in that vibration of the light. You will turn it into light and happiness and positivity. So watch out for that coming in this week for you. There's some blue in the card, so it's telling you about communicating a lot clearly. Watch your throat chakra this week, as you will feel the urge to cough, and clear your throat and clear that chakra so that you can communicate a lot easily and quickly and efficiently this week. So that's what we're picking up for you for this week's energy forecast reading. Thank you for liking, hearting, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here and you would like a one-to-one private reading with myself or 12-month recorded forecast reading with myself, you can find me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com or find me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. In the meantime, catch me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on pulsetalkradio.com with the show called From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. Take care now and God bless. Well, there's a lot to consider for this week, isn't there? A bit of a head scratcher on all accounts, really, but I'm sure we're going to be blessed and helped and guided along the way. Thank you once again for listening to this week's show. If you have enjoyed the show, then tune in next week at the same place, same time, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time on pulsetalkradio.com. With the show, obviously, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. If you have any show suggestions, any ideas that you would like to share, or share some of your encounters or experiences, then please get in touch at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com or glennboddice@live.co.uk. It would be wonderful to have some interaction with you all and also share your content with the listeners there. So in the meantime, whatever it is you're doing, have a blessed week, stay safe, stay protected, And see you all, same place, same time next week.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium